Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of GPT React 30. So in this series we are building React apps using ChatGPT and various libraries in React, and we are going to focus on some advanced library and build some projects. So in this part we are going to build a tabular list view like this, and that too with less than 5 lines of code. So this is the end target of our project, that is we will be showing data in a tabular form about details, and for this we are using the JSON placeholder API. So this is a mock API in which we get a number of things, and from that we are taking the users list and we are populating this users list into a tabular list view as shown here. So this is the list that is been returned by JSON TP code, JSON placeholder TP code, and then this list will be rendered into a tabular list view. So that is the end goal. Now coming to the GPT part, this is the prompt which I have used, and I will share this prompt into the chat description. And we are going to use StackBlitz. So create an account on StackBlitz and click on new project. Then come to the front end and select React. This will bootstrap a new React project like this. And from that we are going to continue to our building our code. First thing that we need to do is we need to open a new terminal and we'll install some packages. The first package that we need is React Admin. So what is React Admin? React Admin is basically a React framework for B2B apps, and we are going to use this library to create our tabular list that is shown here. So a list of users. So it is a simple code. We have a list guesser from React Admin. We have a data provider from another package related to React Admin, and we are going to show the list as the users. So that is the end goal. So let's first install React Admin, and along with that we are going to use RA Data JSON server. So RA Data JSON server is basically a package which is related to React Admin, which is provided by React Admin team itself. So let's install the two packages, which is React Admin and RA Data JSON server. So by the time it gets installed, I am just going to go over RA Data JSON server. So basically this is a JSON server data provider for React, and from that we are going to use the JSON server provider, which will take the data from JSON placeholder TP code based on the name that we provide, and it will pass that data to the resource list. Now coming back to the code, we are going to create a dashboard component like this. So by the time the npm install runs, let's create a new folder here called components. Hit enter, and yeah, so this is installed. So let's just go to package.json and check. So as you can see, we have React Admin and RA Data JSON server installed. Then in the components folder, we are going to create a dashboard.jsx file. So this is the dashboard. So let's copy the dashboard.js and add it to our components folder. So a JSX file. Then let's copy the code line by line. First thing that we import is React. Then we import the admin, which is the wrapper component for React admin. Then a resource component, which is a component which is used to render the tabular list view. And the list, which is the rendered using the list guesser. So let's copy the first three lines and add it to our dashboard. So if we want to learn more about this, we can go to the React Admin docs, and here you will find the list guesser API. So list guesser API is basically the API which takes the API response data and this guesses the fields and renders it into tabular view. The next is the resource field, so we can search for that as well. So this is the admin component which we are using. So this is the root component of a React Admin app, and then there is a resource component which defines the CRUD routes of React Admin app. So that is the overall way in which we can list down the code. So this is the way in which we write the code for React Admin. Now let's copy the rest of the code. Next thing that we need is a data provider. So we are using the JSON placeholder TP code. So JSON server provider will internally fetch the users list and pass it back to React Admin. So let's paste that here. Then we have the add dashboard. So let's copy the dashboard code and add it to our code project. So we have the admin wrapper component, which is the root component. Here we pass the data provider, then the resource which is responsible for the CRUD operations as I mentioned. And here the name which we pass, that based on that name the route or the type of the API is fetched and then passed it back to the React admin. So name is only required prop. It uses as the API endpoint to a data provider as I mentioned. So the users or the endpoint that we are using, like these users will be added to the end of the TP code and it will be passed back as the users list. So that's the overall role. And then list guesser will take the data and render the list. So this is the format which we have: ID, username, email address, phone, website, company, and so on and so forth. Now let's come back to app.jsx and import our dashboard.jsx file. So we don't need this code. Then we'll import dot slash components slash dashboard. Then let's just check if there is an export. So we have export default dashboard. Then we'll remove the boilerplate code from here and we'll add the dashboard component and it's safe. So this is taking an update and it will refresh the page in some time. So let's just wait for some time. Okay, the import here is wrong. So yeah, I forgot that import is like this. So import dashboard from component dashboard. I imported it as a CSS file. So let's just check and see if there is an error now. So it is getting updated and hot module replacement, which is the library load, is taking the update. Okay, so I think there was some error from Stackbit error now, and it is now resolved after refresh. So as you can see, we have the list rendered and we have the admin list. So we have the list of users and we have a navbar which can be stopped and the list of users that we had here. So name, username, then other stuff. So that is present here and we have successfully rendered a tabular list. So Stackbit sometimes takes has some issues, but it is open source and it is free. So we'll have to work with that. And that concludes the today's tutorial in which we developed a tabular list in less than 5 lines of code. If you see that this is the first, second, then third, fourth, and that's it. In just 5 lines of code, we have a tabular list using React Admin, and we have the list. So yeah, that's it from my end for today. Thank you. Have a nice day. Goodbye.